So the first piece of news is that the foreign minister of Iran on April 17th supposedly announced that the Strait of Hormuz was open for the remainder of the ceasefire. And then DJT, Donald Trump, posted thank you for that because moments later he was still keeping the U.S. Navy blockade on it just until a peace deal has been agreed. Keep in mind the ceasefire has been going on since April 7th, been in war since February 28th, and there's just so much going on here. So the Strait of Hormuz was actually still closed for the time being. So it was a lie, pretty much. It was a lie, guys, from Trump. Whoop-de-doo, surprise. Even though America still fully implemented the blockade, even though they were occupying the ports and paying security police, Iran didn't want to open it up. And so you can tell that the leadership of Iran is split into two different, it's not unified. The leadership, the decision making of Iran is not unified, guys. That boils down to the question of who controls Iran. So it's conflicting between the IRGC, Iranian Royal Guard. Forgot what the C means, guys, but yeah, Iranian Royal Guard. Let me see what that means. Crickets. Okay, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. My bad, guys. Yeah, so who controls Iran between the IRGC and then some high top-ranking officials? And it sounds like they can't really make up their mind on this. So even the new supreme leader, I mean, there was rumors about him being dead, but it sounds like he's just in some shape, way, or form disabled. He was able to be there for the previous peace talk / ceasefire deal. So I'm pretty sure that he's injured, but good enough to actually talk diplomacy. Anyways, just going back to the war, guys. America's Navy blockade is still in the Strait of Hormuz playing police while Iran is still impacted because America is not letting loose, right? So they're still closing the Strait of Hormuz, probably their strongest weapon, guys. They can't really compete with military versus America. America is pretty much saying that they will not stop occupying the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is kind of saying, oh, well, stop blocking it if you get the Navy blockade out of here. That's some crazy stuff going on, guys. Iran did offer to reopen the Strait of Hormuz if U.S. does lift its blockade and the war ends. So that actually did happen in a diplomacy with Russia involved. I also don't trust that either. Like, whenever Russia is involved in anything, guys, like, it's not something we should be associated with. I just want to talk about the win conditions here, guys, because it's clear that Israel, Iran, and America all have different win conditions and they have different rewards. They want different what they can benefit if they win from this war. So there's a lot to talk about here. Let's just get into Iranian win conditions. The biggest thing that Iranians can do right now, because like I said, they can impact military might of America. So they're just gonna impact the world economy instead, and that's by controlling the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the biggest trade routes, especially for oil and fuel. And then they want us to lift the sanctions that were placed on them. So Iran is sanctioned due to its nuclear program, support for proxy groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, and then ballistic missile development, and then severe human rights violations by their government. They were really trying to control it there. Not only America, but Russia too. Because of that, they've been sanctioned like hell by the US and even other nations. The last part of Iranian win conditions is to keep proxies like Hezbollah, to keep them for security. And then what Israel wants is to completely destroy Iranian nuclear capabilities, and they want to assassinate all their top officials, and then they want to cause the Iranian government to just completely collapse. Maybe someone that's a lot more pro-Israel, pro-Jewish, pro-Zionist. That's what Israel wants at the end of the day. I don't even think they care about America at this point. They want to destroy the ballistic missile capabilities and the uranium production in Iran. Maybe regime change is secondary, but for the most part, I think we're doing it because of Israel, and then we're also doing it because we just kind of share that belief that we should destroy possible nuclear capabilities and ballistic missile programs. It boils down to Israel. Is it an adversary or is it more of an ally? Like, ally is supposed to be someone that helps you, right? Like, just like in World War II, when Britain got into the war, I mean, it was mostly because of Pearl Harbor, so that was the thing that triggered it, right? But then at the same time, America's allies were already involved in World War II before it, right? America didn't enjoy it until the end of it. Going back to the point, I can tell Israel is more of an adversary because they disrupt peace talks all the time. Every time a peace talk is about to happen, they assassinate the Iranian official. And then these officials of peace are security advisors, militia leaders, and intelligence officials. So a lot of important people here, and Israel wants to keep killing them, keep assassinating them. And then the biggest thing that they keep attacking is Hezbollah all the way in Lebanon. Because of that, a lot of these strikes are targeting Hezbollah, but there's a lot of crossfire, secondary deaths from it, civilians dying. Israel keeps targeting Lebanon with airstrikes and missiles. So of course there's going to be some civilian casualties. I'm not saying it's right at all, but that's what they keep doing to justify Lebanon and take probably half of Lebanon, as well as killing some people there, right, to instill terror. And because of all this, I think it has made the abilities for America and Iran to come to a peace talk way harder, because not only do you have a third person involved in this conflict, it's not just America, it's not just Iran. Third party has different conditions than the other two, like I was talking about, guys. Ukraine is actually sending some military aid to America and some of even the Gulf states. So the first thing that Ukraine is helping America with is the air defense radar drones. They're meant to be quiet. They're meant to just go. They also detect drone is the whole point of it, and a big part of Iranian military is drones, especially around the Strait of Hormuz, wherever. There's just lots of drones, and so that radar is not only quiet, undetectable, but able to detect and destroy those drones, as well as helping with the technology of underwater minesweepers. So these babies can detect mines in the Strait of Hormuz, and then they have these other naval drones that can deter Iranian speedboats. Who do I think the U.S. is gonna invade next? Like I mentioned before, guys, I think they're gonna invade Cuba next, most likely. Cuba is just very vulnerable right now. I don't think it's gonna come during this war because, as you guys have seen, we have our hands full with Iran already. But I do think that Cuba will be the next target after America, right? After Iran. My bad, guys. They've been going through blackouts, they've been going through famine, and the only people that are helping Cuba right now are Mexico, Spain, and Brazil. Yeah, they send a good amount of oil, but it's not enough to even fuel them because blackouts keep happening, famine keeps happening, and so because of that, their military is also weakened, guys, because of the technology. Speaking of blockading, is blockading them too, but it's more of an economic blockade where they're just making sure Cuba's not getting helped too much, right? So I think we're gonna invade Cuba because Cuba is next to Florida, which makes it easier to invade, if you guys get what I'm saying. If we do invade, is it gonna be like Venezuela with Maduro, where it's drop in, drop out very quick, no deaths, no casualties needed? Or is it going to be like Iran, where at first we were deploying a lot of airstrikes, a lot of air combat, and then naval combat too, but we were about to do ground troops? Is it going to be like that, guys? I think if Cuba were to fight America, the best way would be ground troops. I think they have a good amount of ground troops. And then America has to decide who their successor wants to be, right? Because America loves putting in their own regime leader, coup de grace, if you if you want to get fancy with some French. We're thinking Castro, a member of the Castro family. I think he's like a great nephew or great son type of. Depends first on how we're gonna do it, if we're gonna do it, and then why we're gonna do it. That's the other big thing, guys, that we have to keep in mind here. How are we gonna justify? How is Trump, if it does happen during the Trump presidency, how is he gonna justify an invasion of Cuba right after the one with Iran? You know, like that's gonna take some crazy balls. It depends on how well or how shit the war with Iran goes. That's what's gonna influence the decision on whether or not we invade Cuba, guys. Time to transition to topic to Trump's cabinet members, if you'll say. Oof, it's a battle between Cash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard. Let's talk about them both, but I wanna talk about our boy Spider Cash here. There was reports that when he was drinking, I think this was a year ago, that the SWAT team had to get him out of a drunk episode with a battering ram, which is embarrassing because he was just so fucked up. Bro was baited as a mofo. The next day, he was unable to log into the computer system and thought he was fired, so he had a huge crash out. The Atlantic News, they reported this story, right? This guy who has a drunk history, you know, even from a lot of 24 work colleagues, is no joke a drunk, and at work as well too, charged with public urination. And we've all been there, but as a FBI director, it's more embarrassing. I'm just gonna be straight up with it. And to have the SWAT team come with a battering ram, get you out, and the fact that you suck at your job, it took you forever to find Charlie Kirk's shooter. And so, yeah, I mean, it took you like a day to find the shooter for the White House Correspondents' Dinner, but not Charlie Kirk. Hopefully this 46-year-old FBI frat boy wannabe gets fired. Jesus Christ. Tulsi Gabbard, who is the other cabinet member who I think might get fired soon, the former Democrat in 2022. But now he's a director of intelligence for the Trump staff, and news broke that she's being forced to resign before the midterms by the Trump staff. This was because Deputy Kent, you guys remember, he was the one that resigned earlier in March 2026. But now she's thinking about having to resign too, as pressured by Trump. And we think it was because that she stated in March 2026 that US-Israel war goals and Iran were not aligned. I've said that earlier. I think I actually got that from our girl Tulsi Gabbard, but she was the one that said all three countries have different goals. So, and she testifying on neutralizing Iranians' ballistic missiles and naval capabilities, while Iran wants to remove their leadership. So, sees Iran as a military threat. She has definitely maintained strong, though, that she doesn't want Iran to acquire any nuclear weapons. So she also testified that while Iran was not building a nuke, she did testify that Iran was not building a nuke at the time. She doesn't know which side she wants to be on, just like how she used to be on the Democrats. Just like how she says she's an anti-interventionist, U.S. first type of politics. Right here, guys. You've heard it first. I think it's Tulsi Gabbard or Cash Patel that's gonna go bye-bye. And then the third person that we're gonna talk about, guys, former Trump staff, is Pam Bondi, because we already talked about her firing last episode. She's not showing up to deposition. The one that the Clintons went to. I don't know how to pronounce that. But she was asked to withdraw her subpoena, even though the House Oversight Committee was strict on the Clintons being there, right? Even though I think they had someone pass away and they still made the Clintons show up. Not much did happen after the Clintons testimonies, but still, guys, it's the thought, it's the effort that counts. And luckily, we still have some Republicans like Nancy Mace and Thomas Massey still pushing for it. Hopefully they can still push for Pam Bondi to show up, but I don't think Trump wants Pam Bondi to show up either, because it might get him in trouble. Members on the Oversight Committee and the Government Reform Committee, they were wondering if they should pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, the co-conspirator / girlfriend, I guess, situationship of Jeffrey Epstein, who's still alive and probably the most dangerous and most guilty person who's still alive, put into prison. She was there before Trump's inauguration. So she was there. She was in a maximum sex offender prison until Trump became president, and then that's when she was moved to a minimum security prison. I don't know if this is a rumor, guys, but they might have had pets, dogs, puppies. So they were wondering if they should pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, because if she was pardoned, if she was granted clemency, right, which means pretty much a pardon or a plea deal, then she will cooperate with the Epstein investigation, which that's a bad take, because what if they do that and then she doesn't cooperate, right? Or she gives like some false narratives. So a lot of people are just pushing for them to not grant clemency or pardon Maxwell, keep her in the maximum security, and she will eventually come out with the truth. She will then testify. It seems like Trump is iffy on this. He seems very avoidant. Like when asked in an interview about it, he said, "I did not know about this." You know, and Maxwell seems like someone I knew a while ago, but I just haven't thought of Ghislaine in a while. I wonder how she's doing. He's wishing her well and not looking bad for anyone. Like it's normal to do that for anyone. Sure. I'm not looking for her to die necessarily. I feel bad for her boyfriend who died. You're like, come on, guys, give some empathy. Hopefully they don't pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Another wild thing, guys, is that this whole war and assassination attempt, it's caused a distraction from the Epstein files, which again should not be forgotten. Trump's name in there, guys, is mentioned 38,000 times, along with mentions of Peter Thiel, the CEO of Palantir, the owner of Victoria's Secret. Ghislaine Maxwell obviously has photos. Melania Trump is mentioned there in a few times, but she's not telling the truth on anything, guys. Jesus, we gotta stop bringing up how Melania is mentioned in the Epstein files and how she knew. I'm disappointed in you guys. There's psychology to this, right? Again, this is what I do, guys. I'm a therapist, so I'm gonna provide my therapy take on this. So the psychology of why Epstein files were forgotten. Number one, learned helplessness. So learned helplessness is pretty much when shit happens to a victim so much, especially shit that's outside of their control, right? So let's say there's a kid, and it's gonna be a tragic example, guys, but it's a kid and then his mom, his abusive dad, right? Let's say abusive dad. Mom can be abusive too, but let's just say in this example, it's abusive dad. So abusive dad has a pattern of drinking, but is also hitting his kid, right? Like hitting poor little Timmy here. And so poor little Timmy, considering he's 6 years old, learns that he can't really do shit about it, right? Like, yes, he can talk to someone, but let's say every time he tells his mom tells dad, and then he beats the shit out of Timmy again. So there's no point in telling anyone, and obviously he can't tell the school because he knows that dad is the one providing the paycheck at the end of the day. Mom cannot live without dad. What does he learn to do? It's called learned helplessness. So he loses hope every time the abuse happens. So that's what learned helplessness means. Every time nothing happens with the Epstein files, every time we don't prosecute someone here in America, every time they see someone prosecute someone else in a different country, such as Prince Andrew, they learn that nothing can be done, especially here in America, where no one has since prosecuted. The victims of Epstein have not gotten a testimony yet, just like Melania Trump has said. She's right about one thing, guys. Not only the victims, but America's people, America's citizens have learned that no matter what's being done right now, no one's being prosecuted. And who's the people that are mentioned? It's the people that are the elites, the rich people, the higher upper class, you know, the ones that tax breaks are going to right now. Not only is it learned helplessness, but it's desensitization. When things happen to you so many times, it's kind of learned helplessness. You start feeling it less, right? Like, so if you kept getting hit and hit, like you lose feeling over time, right? Like you lose a sensitivity to that over time. I'm not saying it's not painful, right? But the more you get hit in that specific area, guys, like the more you'll just stop feeling eventually. Like it'll still be painful and it's still gonna affect your body, but that's what desensitization means. Like the more bad shit like this happens, it's not just the Epstein files, but the war, ending birthright citizenship, the things with ICE. Like, it's just so much bad stuff that happens that kind of tunes out the Epstein files, because we have so much other things that we're dealing with. There's Gaza and Palestine going on, what happened in Venezuela, oil going up. So people are going through their own problems at the end of the day as well. Like, even for me, politics isn't my whole life. Like, yeah, I'll look at YouTube videos, I'll look on Google sometimes at the news, but for the most part, my priorities are my cats, making a living with my job, doing mental health. I love it. Like, I'm pretty serious about content creating, but is it my main thing? No, it's not. Just like everyone else. Then also just our literal decrease in attention span, guys. Like, look at TikTok, look at YouTube shorts, like, look at all the shit I make. Like, I know that's what people like, and I love them too, guys. I'm gonna be honest, but because of all that, like, our attention span is so short. So unless, the Epstein files are being brought up again, or there's new allegations, or they release more files, then this is gonna be buried under for the time beings. And I will continue to make TikToks and videos regarding the Epstein files, guys. I will aim to mention it every episode, because it does need to be mentioned. There's just so many victims that were trafficked. Some of them are in Congress, some of them are in the top seats of our government. So of course I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Rokana and Thomas Massey, you guys are the goats. Keep pushing for it. I like what you guys are saying. I like the people that keep mentioning the Epstein files. Keep doing your thing, guys. I'm just gonna end the video there. It's already been 45 minutes. Ooh, that was pretty fun. It's kind of hard to do it by yourself, but I think I've grown accustomed to it, guys, and it's been great to know, because now I can control the conversation. Because I think when I had Rico is still here, sometimes it's hard to steer the conversation left or right. So hopefully next week he'll be here, guys, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit like, subscribe, like us on all socials. We're on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and mainly YouTube. That's where I want to have my career in. I will see you guys next week for episode 10. So much love, guys. Appreciate you, and thank you guys for watching.